So, for all of y'all who have left kind comments about my health status, I really appreciate it. Yesterday's show was kinda difficult because my voice was all the way down there. It was like Christian Bale Batman. But it's been 24-ish hours. I have started to cough a lot more, but it doesn't hurt as much to speak, swallow, or breathe like it did yesterday during the videos that we had recorded. So, with all that in mind, let's go over some of the big scoops that we had heard over the past day and a bit in regards to the Montreal Canadiens. And I say scoops, more so I just mean talking points. Because today's source is the A bientôt see you soon Montreal Canadiens subreddit, because there were a bunch of short, little, mini conversations that we could have based off of all the conversations and posts made on here. I get it, y'all can say Lego is coming out here with the low-effort videos again, just reading Reddit and making content out of it. And, I'm not gonna say that that's wrong. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing here. It's just, there are a lot of things to talk about, so let's dive into it here. Big shout-outs over to the folks that made these posts, like GoHabsGo31. Let's start things off with a little bit of an introductory discussion about Noah Dobson. New York Islanders head coach Patrick Roy said yesterday on Dobson, he is an offensive D-man. He's a guy who is very good at moving the puck, and he's definitely going to help the Habs. Now, the best part about Patty Roy speaking out about Dobson is the fact that Roy's issues with Dobson back in Long Island were part of the reason why Dobson even got traded in the first place. Again, say what you will about whether or not Dobson's playstyle actually fit with the way this man coached the team. Now, we had ourselves some extra comments made by the D-man himself that I thought were super interesting to dive into here as well. This was also posted by GoHabsGo31. Noah Dobson said this 2 weeks ago after getting traded to Montreal in his post-trade press conference. He was speaking about Lane Hutson. He is a tremendous player. He's going to be a great player in the league for a long time. I'm excited to get on the ice with him and get to know him. Just see up close and learn from him as well. Might I remind you, Noah Dobson is 25. This is a player who is already bowing down and saying, yeah, there's this young guy in Montreal, Lane Hutson, he is the reigning Rookie of the Year, and I want to learn from that guy. I want to be able to pick things up in my game from that guy. And if that is not so encouraging for Montreal Canadiens fans who are hoping for the best into the next few years out of both of these players, then I don't know what will be. Learn from him is such high praise coming from a 25-year-old D with 6 seasons and a 70-point season under his cap. Honestly, it looks great on Dobson too that he's willing to learn from somebody younger and with less NHL experience. Great mentality to have. It reminds me of Mike Matheson last year. He often said that he is still learning things from Hutson, even after he quote-unquote stole his top spot on the power play as the number 1 offensive option. It showed a lot of character. It's called skills, intelligence, greatness. Lane is on the next level. Maybe Demidov will be closer to Lane, but we will see next season. Now, there are a bunch of other hyperbolic conversations going on here. This one from Just 4 NSFW Picks says, I'd say there's less than 10 players in the NHL who are in the same league of shiftiness and IQ as Hutson, and only Makar and Hughes are there as defensemen. Great praise, but it's absolutely true. Almost everyone would have something to learn from Hutson. He is a player that draftees will be compared to for the rest of NHL history. And that bodes very well when you think about the idea of Montreal grabbing Slafkovsky and Hutson, maybe 2 first overall picks in the same draft. Okay, we're not going to piss off the rest of the NHL collective fan base with that conversation here. But speaking about defensemen, we have some more talking points, courtesy of one Pierre McGuire. Let's dive into 2 audio hits that he had on the TSN 690 website that were also cut and posted onto the RHAB sub. First, you have Pierre McGuire saying that I think Caden Gooley will go to another level. There is a 19-minute audio hit of him going out there and expanding on this. Hockey analyst Pierre Maguire joined Mitch Melnick, John Still, and Lucas Scott on Melnick in the afternoon to talk about who he thinks will make the biggest leap for the Habs next season, the Erik Karlsson sweepstakes, the direction of the Penguins that they're going in, and whether or not Askarov will come out as the starter, plus much more. This, of course, was posted onto the Habs subreddit, and folks had their discussion over there. There has been tons of chatter about how the playoff experience can help guys like Slavkovsky, Demidov, Hudson, but Guhle is one of the guys I am most excited for. He's been put in a very difficult position for essentially his entire career. 2 years eating tough minutes on a bottom feeder, and then when there's finally a decent group around him, he's repeatedly forced to play on his offside with rotating partners. I'd staple Guhle to Dobson from the moment they can get them skating together. He's great at adapting to his D partners, but he rarely has had any chance to develop chemistry with a guy. On paper, they complement each other beautifully. Guhle has had some bad luck with his health. It's hard to call him injury-prone. A couple of instances have been weird or bad luck, as I recall, outside of this year's injury. He plays a hard-nosed game in tough minutes. If he can stay relatively healthy at that contract he is on, he might be one of the best for the next 5 years. Friendly reminder, his extension only kicked in July 1st, so he's locked in for 6 seasons at 5.5. Then you have some other discussion here. Guhle and Dobson for 5 years at least, Hudson and Carrier as a placeholder for David, Matheson and Reinbacher, Xhekaj and Struble. What to do? I'm wondering if Struble remains unsigned because of something Kent Hughes is cooking up. We have one too many lefty, and I don't agree that Matheson should be the one to go, and the entire hockey world knows what Kent Hughes is targeting. But ultimately, Caden Guhle, expanding on his game and becoming more of that Shea Weber-like rock, will be so beneficial for the Montreal Canadiens long-term that I think we don't even need to try to explain why. He is just going to get better. He hopefully will have some more minutes developed with a guy that he can develop chemistry with. That is the biggest thing here for Guhle, I think. Give him a stable partner that he can be with time in, time out for 82 games in a year, as long as he plays 82 games in a year, and we'll see how he adapts and adjusts his game to their play. Noah Dobson and Guhle together sounds amazing. Now, as I had said, we had multiple hits from Maguire to dive into here. The last one was also posted onto the Habs subreddit. It talks about Jacob Fowler, and how Maguire believes that Fowler will be the starter for Montreal 1 year from now. That is a hot take. And even the folks on the Habs subreddit try to go out there and pump the brakes a little bit. It takes a while for goalies to even make the NHL, let alone become starters. Be patient, and remember, we already have some pretty good goaltending in Sammy Montembeault and Jakub Dobeš. Now that's great and all, but still, Jacob Fowler becoming the starter a year from now? That's a bold take. We are not going to go out there and fully talk smack about Pierre Maguire today, but wowzers, is that interesting. Do you agree with the assessment that Fowler will be the starter for the Montreal Canadiens 1 year from now? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. Now, before we end things off, I wanted to go over one more thing. This is a really small topic, but it is one that I think we should be discussing at the very least. It goes over the Montreal Canadiens and guys that they might be interested in. Turns out, when it comes to Evgeny Kuznetsov, the Montreal Canadiens do not seem to be interested in him. Courtesy of this post made by Louis-André Larivière on La Page Sportive. No contract for Kuznetsov with the Montreal Canadiens. Ivan Demidov will not have Kuznetsov as a teammate with the Canadiens, La Page Sportive has learned. At least, not in the near future. Kuznetsov's agent, Shumi Babayev, confirmed to LPS that his client is not currently on the Canadiens' plans, even though the club has not landed a center for their second line since the start of the offseason. Evgeny would be a good fit. He wants to play in Montreal, but there's no room. I don't think he'll get the chance, Babayev admitted. I spoke with Montreal. The leaders there respect Evgeny. They explained their situation to me, and it's normal. This is a pretty big bombshell of a drop too. Kuznetsov wants the Canadiens, but they don't want him. With all this in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all these talking points for the Habs. Dobson, Hudson, Patty Waugh, Guhle, Fowler, as well as Evgeny Kuznetsov. Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Troll 99, and Bye.